Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more juicy content from me. Hello and welcome back. It's been a minute and I've been doing a few things. I've been traveling a little bit more, speaking a bit more, and foraying into, I would say making other pivots and putting other irons in the fire. More on that later. But today I'm going to be talking about guarding your heart. And what does it mean to guard your heart? There's a verse in the scriptures that says, guard your heart, for out of it flow issues that pertain to life. And when we're talking about your heart, we're not talking about your physical heart that pumps the blood. There are ways of guarding that too and taking care of it, but that's not what this is about today. I'm going to be talking about guarding your heart. Guarding your heart in that sense doesn't mean putting up walls around yourself and impenetrable barriers. No. It means not allowing resentment, bitterness, and negativity to become a part of your soul. That is what guarding your heart really means. So, when you hear guard your heart, I'm about to give you 10 ways in which you can guard your heart. The first one is to mind your relationships and associations, right? If you constantly associate with bitter, negative people, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. They say we are the sum total of the top 5 people we spend the most time with. I do not want to be negative or bitter or resentful, so I mind the way I spend time around those people. So you want to mind your associations and relationships. The second one is watch what you feed yourself with. And when I'm saying feed yourself, I'm not talking about physical food. I'm talking about what you listen to, the things you watch, the music you listen to, the news, naysayers, people who all they do is carry doom and gloom everywhere they go. There may be some doom and gloom, but life is not all doom and gloom. So even the fiction that we watch can affect the state of our heart. So you want to pay attention to the things that you let in through your eyes and through your ears. Number 3, this is really crucial. Acknowledge and deal with negative emotions. Because if you suppress and repress negative emotions, they keep building up and building up, and they come out in all kinds of ways. They come out in forms of illnesses, physical and mental. They come out in form of for want of a better word, deranged behavior. And by that I mean behavior that's completely out of keeping with who you are as a person or who you want to be. A lot of repressed and suppressed emotions, when not dealt with, they will lead you down the wrong path. And in order to guard your heart and prevent negativity and bitterness from living in you, you want to acknowledge and deal with negative emotions. So-called negative emotions are not, you're not supposed to hide them. You can talk them through, you can work through them, you can transmute them to something more resourceful. But the last thing you want to do is, feel a certain emotion, and because you feel it's unacceptable or negative, just pretend that it doesn't exist. That is not the way to guard your heart. Number 4, have a trusted circle around you that you can vent to when needed. Okay. Now, people who they say a problem shared is a problem halved. Someone you can vent to can help you carry the burden of your problems while not necessarily fixing the problem for you, but just being a listening ear and an empathetic voice. Number 5, don't violate your conscience. Don't go against your own moral principles. A way to guard your heart is not to go against your own moral principles. Be in integrity. And when I say integrity, I'm not necessarily talking about being good, although yes, being good, it's good to be good, but being in alignment with your own values. For example, let's say you personally don't like to drink alcohol and you go out with friends who like to drink alcohol. nothing, wrong either way. But now you find yourself imbibing alcohol, even though you don't, for you, it's against your own conscience and something you do not really like to do. You guard your heart by living in alignment with your values and not going against your own conscience and your own moral principles, even if they don't make sense to other people. There are some things that you know that you would just not do, not because they're necessarily wrong, but you have decided that this is something that's wrong for you and you will not do that. Stay that way. That's a way to guard your heart. Number 6, pray. Yes, pray. I believe in prayer. I believe in God. I believe in prayer. And, opening your heart to God is a way to guard your heart, because in prayer, there are points where you're forced to examine yourself and your thoughts and what you're putting out in the world and who you're being. And that's a way of guarding your heart, by praying. Now, number 7, super duper important. Realize that there's some things in your life that you cannot control. Okay. And instead of getting bitter and angry and resentful against things you can't control, it's best to remind yourself, well, I cannot control this, but I can control my emotions and my thoughts around this thing, even though I can't control the thing. Okay. If you can do something about a situation, do something. If you cannot, then let it go. Not always easy, but it takes practice, right? When you remind yourself of this, look, I don't control this. You don't control the weather. You don't control, what certain politicians are saying. You don't control, there's a lot of things we don't control. There's a long list of them. And the more we try to control the things we don't, or just things that we're concerned about, we can actually get bitter, or we just get into this state of constantly complaining because we can't control the thing. If you can't control the thing by complaining about it, then stop complaining and direct your energy and focus to things you can actually control, things you can actually change. This is one way to guard your heart. Number 8, similar to not going against your conscience, number 8 is setting boundaries. Set boundaries over what you will or will not do, or what you will or will not allow in your life, and be clear. Once that decision is made, then you live according to your decisions. If your boundaries keep being overridden and disrespected, you don't move your boundary. No, you hold your boundary, and you may have to have conversations with somebody about overriding your boundaries, or find ways to limit their access to you. Okay? Because guess what? Eventually, if your boundaries keep getting overridden and overridden and overridden, you will become resentful, you will become angry, you will become bitter. Hold your boundaries. Eventually, either people will get used to the fact that this is your boundary, or they'll, go find somebody else. Number 9, this is very important. Refuse to live a life of malice. Now, wherever you are, however old you are in life, there will be people in your life who have done things to hurt you. At some point, you have to stop letting those narratives of what they've done to hurt you guide your life, or affect your life. Let me put it that way. This was done to me at this point in time, that's why I'm this, etc., etc. That may well be, but at some point you have to cut it off, or else you will be this bitter person who keeps wishing, well, I wish my parents hadn't done this to me, or done that to me, or done the other to me. At some point, you're going to have to divest your emotions from constantly ruminating on things that make you continuously angry, sad, bitter, resentful. And that's all I'm going to say about that one. Last but not the least, number 10, develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay, no matter how bad things are, there's going to be something to be grateful for. Try to find the glimmers of hope, find the things that you can be grateful for. Whenever I start working with my clients, I always say to them, what are 3 things that you're grateful for? Tell me 3 things that you're grateful for. And that's how we start every session with every client, every time. 3 things you're grateful for, because gratitude sets the tone for your life, sets the tone for your life. So I am going to do a quick recap of the 10 points, 10 ways to guard your heart. Number 1 is to mind your associations. Number 2, pay attention to what you watch and listen to. Number 3, acknowledge and deal with negative emotions. Number 4, have a circle of trust around you. Number 5, don't violate your conscience. Number 6, pray. Number 7, realize there's some things out of your control. Number 8, set boundaries and hold them. Number 9, refuse to live a life of offense and malice. Number 10, develop an attitude of gratitude. So thank you very much. That's all from me today, and I will see you next time.